What's happening, fandoms? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we react to music videos and shows. Today, we're going back to the Expanse. We are rolling into the beginning of book 3. Finally, we experienced at the end of last episode the Venus event, much awaited. I expected to see a little bit more of it, but I'm assuming we'll see some more impacts of those things as we roll into this episode. But basically, whatever was happening on Venus launched, and where it will go, we will see soon. I can't imagine they're going to change that very much. The last episode was pretty darn amazing. We got the events of the Agatha King being infected by protomolecule, all of its inhabitants getting infected. Kochar escapes and manages to make his way into the reactor drive area and rigs it to explode, causing our away team to get out of there in a hurry because they don't want to be a part of that. We also experienced Frax and Amos hunting down and finding Strickland and the children. We learned that Frax is not that guy, and we learned that Amos is that guy. And I've now been told that one of the writers and Wes Chatham, the actor for Amos, have a podcast called Ty and That Guy. I didn't know that before. Very interesting. And that's a very iconic line. Very, very true to the character of Amos. During last episode, I was worried that Prax was kind of losing his humanity a bit. He was rough with dead humans, and he looked like he was going to go ahead and pull the trigger on Strickland, but ultimately did not do that, and Amos saved him from losing the little bit of himself that he still had left, I think. So good job, Amos. As we're rolling into the events of book 3 over this last weekend, I picked up and read most of book 4, reread, on my goal to reread these books as I come up to the events that lead into them. It's very interesting how much of these things you can forget. I originally read book 4, I want to say probably 6 or 7 years ago. That could be slightly off, but over the course of that time, you lose lots and lots of details, and it's very fun to go back and be refreshed, especially since book 3 is going to be super condensed. We only have, I think, 6 total episodes that will be in book 3. That's my understanding. And then we'll be rolling straight into book 4 in season 4. So important that I get caught up now, because the writers have definitely shown a tendency to incorporate bits and pieces much, much earlier than they did in the books to, tie a sense of coherency into the show, consistency and cohesiveness. I'm sure that's why they brought in Reverend Dr. Anna so much earlier than they did, especially since they might have known that book 3 was going to get super jammed up here during this season. And book 3 is where we first meet Dr. Reverend Anna. So they wanted us to latch onto her and grow to understand her morality and her family situation and her way of being a bit earlier, when there was more time to expound on that, I think. So I'm pretty damn excited to see what we get in what's essentially a season opener, because it's a book opener. Let's dive into episode 7, Delta V. Very excited. If you'd like,
Patreon.
Thank you. Oh, I just saw something that's cool. Here we go. I'm excited. Special appearance by Thomas Jane. What could that mean?
And as we have always done in the past, we will face the unknown together.
Okay, here it is. The ring. Nice. Okay. Yep, here he goes.
Civilian religious leaders, intellectuals,
Here we
and
go.
artists is being assembled to observe.
Yeah, this guy is why they set up the existence of slingshot racers in the first place. So we would understand what's happening here.
You like this. You always off somewhere, do your thing, and
She's
I
dumping
always
him.
wait here for you for come back. Okay? Finally get some fun. And you get tired of the wait. And your brother, he understand me. The real me. Right here.
Stay safe for sewing out there, superstar.
Oh boy.
And that's it.
Oh boy. Wow, that's a glam shot of Jim Holden thirst trapping. Yep. Now, we're going to ignore the science that shows that this would literally take years for him to accomplish or something like that, but that's okay. He's going to slingshot the ring.
How does that make you feel?
Kind of makes me want a donut.
You're deflecting again.
It's there. I don't know what it is, but there's plenty of people way smarter than me out here trying to figure it out. We're just trying to make a living. It's not cheap or easy to maintain a ship like this.
Especially if it's not really yours.
Whoa, hold on there, darling. That's a
Legitimate salvage.
Not what the Martians think.
Seems a bit petty, since we saved their planet.
Quarter, there's only 3 of you on board. What happened to Naomi Nagata?
Naomi. Yeah, Naomi went
She's on a leave of absence.
maybe to the Nauvoo. Yep. Doing engineering work on the Nauvoo, huh?
Shuttle just dock where the fuck you be.
On my way. I don't want to see that
love
shit
drummer.
when people are working. If they want to do it, they can do it on their own time.
You get no trouble from me, boss man.
Yeah, we're, oh, that's new, I think.
You're late. Job done, or better, I'm your captain.
No one's going to change that.
This is the first time we're gonna see Anderson Dawes since he took off with that scientist. Doesn't look like it.
Dawes wants him here.
And Fred just let him walk out of his hole.
The
Diego.
OPA officially granted him amnesty. Fred didn't tell you. I'm sure it was a mistake.
I talked to Cortazar. He said to say hello.
Shut your face, mister. That is Naomi Nagata, whose service to the belt was far greater than yours could ever be.
Welcome to the Behemoth.
The Behemoth. It's no longer the Nauvoo.
I can feel the love already.
Okay. Guess you gotta change the name to represent that it's not a peaceful ship anymore.
They corroborate all our findings.
You know, when the protomolecule first came off Venus, it looked like a squid to me, and it's behaved like a virus in the past. Do you think it might have been alive in some way?
A life form?
Yeah.
Who is this guy?
Aren't you part of the godly contingent?
No, I came here in a spaceship, not the wings of an angel. I'm able to appreciate the difference.
Are you rich or famous?
Neither.
Then how did you get a ride on this ship?
The Secretary General made me an offer that I couldn't refuse. You don't think it's a life form?
There's no doubt in my mind. That is a piece of technology. Then after crashing into Venus, it reached out, deconstructed the Arbogast, and flew all the way out here and turned itself into this.
Quite an exposition here.
Intelligence created it. An extremely intelligent intelligence.
What do you think it is?
Pray that it's inert.
I spent some time there.
Yeah, I actually couldn't find any records of you on the roll. In fact, you don't seem to have any official government records at all apart from a birth certificate and a registered win with the apprenticeship lottery when you were 15.
Weird.
I did talk to some locals, though, and they told me about a guy who was also named Amos Burton, who was some sort of mob boss. But that couldn't be you, right? Because you left the city when you were 15. So maybe it was like a relative?
Yeah.
Maybe just a common name.
Keep pushing.
Think?
Oh, there went the drone.
I'm making a documentary. The point is to get under your skin and into your head. You can't be surprised that I did background on you.
I don't like it.
What is it going to take for you to get comfortable with me?
You being off the ship?
I think her name is Monica.
What are you doing right now?
This.
It is the greatest vessel in human history.
It's
built by Beltalowda.
absolutely
That is something
massive.
the Inners cannot ignore, because they know if we can do this, then that is just the beginning.
Biggest ship ever made. It is ridiculously large.
We've got an issue in the forward maneuvering cluster RCS.
This guy's gonna be a problem, I think. I do like the new OPA symbol they put together.
Primary power. Yes! Then we're good.
What did this guy do to him?
Good.
What's all this about?
Oh, we used to work together.
You believe you should be in command?
Yeah, of course I do, but this is not about experience. It's about politics and perception.
Yeah, he's gonna be
Fred
a
has
problem.
protomolecule. Dawes has Cortazar, and they both need this ship.
They both have delusions of grandeur.
And neither one of them cares if you or I are happy with the arrangement.
Got it! Killing the drive now. I'll bring it back to the dock.
Her accent has changed slightly since we last saw her. This is the dude that was high. Yep.
It's too late. He's gone.
Illegal substances were an interesting subplot through book 3.
I have to admit, I kind of miss that old red sky. Been back to Mars since I was shipped out for Phoebe way back when. You know, my fellow soldiers might dispute how you took ownership of your ship, but you earned that seat you're in. You're a top-notch pilot.
Nice compliment.
Gotta go.
Well, it's good talking to you, Gunny. Thank you.
Oh, and this documentary thing is a pain in the ass.
For you? Or anyone, that skiff driver was free to put whatever he liked into his body. We all are. Until that freedom puts others at risk.
Yeah.
And then we act accordingly.
Some more people gonna get spaced.
Security detail to the dock. Captain will meet you there.
Diego. I don't much care for Diego now.
Sarala is as good as her word. I miss you. Your daughter misses you, and we love you very much. Come home soon.
Please. These aren't live conversations. The delay is so big. All you can do is send messages. Poor Anna, and I don't remember her wife's name, but it's a hard relationship when you're far, far apart. Cool.
Wouldn't rub up against that narcissistic asshole with your junk.
Hello, Melba.
Still have to finish up on the junction. Stanley, you take deck 6, okay?
I know who you are.
Chief. Buffers are behind that panel there. Get to work and I'll check back with you in a few, okay?
That was quick. Already we know she's starting to sabotage this ship she's on. I forget the name of the ship, but it's not the same one as everybody else.
He's a botanist. He helped us and we helped him find his little girl.
Where are they now?
They're both on Ganymede Station.
Took him back to Ganymede, huh?
It.
You miss him?
He was good company.
Yeah.
He was my best friend in the whole world.
You know
Why
what?
didn't you go with him?
Believe
he didn't
that.
ask. He didn't have to. I'm not really the rebuilding type. And I don't shit in the galley.
They're really trying to crack his nut.
What's going on?
Yeah, what is going on? Oh, yep. The drug dealer getting spaced.
What are you doing?
This one's supplies. I'm going to space him.
If we ever want to be accepted as equals with the great nations of Earth and Mars,
I have to say
we must act
agree with him on this. Interesting.
I don't like him either. But in this, he's not wrong.
He is not wrong. If they want to be a legitimate government, they have to have laws.
those are our captain's orders.
Saving her from herself in
Well,
this
spread the word.
situation.
Everybody out. It's done. It's over. Back to
He's
the
overstepping his power a little bit, but he's not wrong. I don't like it, but he's not wrong. Okay. Here we go. This.
A small step, but forward.
This is not who we are.
Drummer.
Who do you think we are?
Who is this guy that
I
he
think
knows
this is
her?
our time. Time for the belt to stand up. If not now, it may be never.
Well, perhaps you should explain that to Drummer. She needs to hear it from someone she trusts.
Don't like that this guy is growing on me. He's making good choices. Oh, and he did it right in front of her. Didn't realize she was watching. What is he doing? Yeah, he's gonna die.
Jesus.
Yeah. He has some sort of a weird chemical system installed. Oh boy.
When I was in the Navy, I don't always agree with her decisions or her tactics, but
I think what you are liars. All of you.
Very aggressive.
I don't think anyone on the ship is being honest about why you're here, what you want, and who you are.
I like how they're portraying these people. I thought there were more of them in the book, but it looks like it's just a team of 2.
Firing up in a few seconds. Hold your piss.
Evita, Satarani.
How are they going to show us this?
Today, I do this for you.
Today, I make history. Me, Maneo, yo, Espino.
Ugh, how gross. Yeah. Well, it didn't end the episode with it, but that was pretty gross.
Lose yourself a piece at a time. No laws on Syria.
Hey, Miller.
Just cops.
Okay, that was a cool ending. I liked that. Yeah, I saw a special appearance by Thomas Jane at the very beginning, and I assumed it would be something along those lines. That's a big reveal. Imagine we'll be seeing more of Miller as this season progresses. Yeah. I don't know how much to say about it. They'll reveal stuff slowly throughout the show about what's going on there, but love to see it. Love to see Miller again. It's very cool that he's here. However, briefly, just a moment. And the slingshot racer was played up a little bit more in the books. Like he was broadcasting. Well, he may very well have been broadcasting in this instance too. We'll see maybe more of that being played out after the fact. I think he was tight beam broadcasting, and then those things will get spread out. But yeah, he hit that ring and at a significant speed. Not quite sure how fast exactly, but significant enough to get out way past the inner planets, way out past the asteroid belt to where the ring was. And he hit it at full speed and instantly stopped. Split second, stopped, dead stop basically. And of course that killed him. And all of that gets displayed, and it's the first thing to attempt to cross that boundary inside the ring. So now they know something, a little something about what's happening there. Yeah, and I suspect that is the whole reason that we established the existence of these slingshotters, was so that they could employ the slingshotter for this purpose. Because I don't remember slingshotting or the racers being a big deal in the books before this point, but they explained it thoroughly in book 3 in book 3 to allow us to understand what was happening when this guy popped out at the ring. So what else do we have here? Yes, so we have essentially a whole fleet of different ships. They've established the names of a few of them. Reverend Dr. Anna is on a gigantic, pretty significant ship that's a joint mission between Earth and Mars, with a bunch of dignitaries and religious figures and so on. They kind of established a little bit of that during that long period of exposition, where they were basically recapping the whole history of proto-molecule activities. The guy asked her if she was part of the God contingent, which would be the religious folks, lots and lots of different religions. I don't know how many of those we'll see in this show, because it's very easy to write about a whole gigantic group of people, but it's much harder to represent them and have the actors and all of these different cultural representations. So I'm not sure how much of it we'll see. That remains for me to know that as we move forward. Also, this is very condensed, so things may happen very, very quickly, and we may not have time for explaining all of these things. But in addition to that, there are other ships, support ships. It's basically a whole fleet. And then also Holden and the Rocinante have taken on board basically a media crew. What looks like 2 people in this show. We haven't seen anybody else. In the books, I think it was about 4 different people, something along those lines. But the drone operator dude seemed to be up to some shady stuff there at the end, and I know what he's doing. We'll figure that out over the course of the show. The other big character that they revealed during this episode was Melba. And Melba has been demonstrated to be a bit of a shady character in her own right, because she is bombing this ship that they are on. And my understanding, I don't know how well this came across in this episode, but the ship they were working on and repairing was not the ship that they are occupying. They came there in a shuttle to do repairs for this ship, and then they are leaving to go back to another ship, I believe. So she is rigging a different ship to explode. Explosives planted in the life support system. And so definitely not a good person, because she's going to kill people, and potentially this entire ship worth of people, however large it is. But there's more to Melba than meets the eye. She is a complex character. We will learn more about her as we go forward. And I think they did a good job casting her, because she has an interesting likeness. I'll just leave it at that. And I thought it was fairly well done. And we've established that she doesn't like Holden very much through the conversation she had with her coworkers. And we've also established that she's not very good at the job she's supposed to be doing, because they seem to be coddling her quite a bit. And so we can surmise that she is playing a role here that perhaps she is not intended for, specifically so that she can do these underhanded sabotagey kind of things. So I'm sure we'll learn more about her as we move forward. I was a little afraid that this storyline would be one that they would condense out of the show, but clearly they have not done that, and I appreciate it. Because well, I guess there's not really much of a way they could do that. She ultimately becomes a fairly pivotal character later down the line, so we couldn't really write her out. But then we have the activities on board the Behemoth, the first name change of the Nauvoo, and they have equipped it with missiles and point defense cannons, and they are working on a railgun system, which is not functional, according to the little discussion we had in the elevator with Drummer and Naomi and whoever that other guy was. I didn't quite catch his name, but from the Dawes faction of the OPA, basically I think designed as sort of a truce between Fred and Dawes, to have Drummer be the captain and have Dawes's representative be her first in command, so that they can both have some sort of a bit of control over this situation. And he's shown that he's not afraid to kind of overstep his bounds a little bit and force things to go the way he wants them to. Based on that, I really did agree with what he was saying. You can't just go around meting out vigilante justice because you think you're the one in the right. You can't just space people that you think have done things wrong. You need laws, you need order, you need these things that make a society work. And the OPA is really trying to be a legitimate power center in the solar system. Fred really wants it to be a legitimate power system. I don't know about Dawes, but he's right. You can't just go around doing whatever you want. And I was afraid that he was going to turn into a bad guy, and I still think he probably will, but he had a very good point there. We got right to the bottom of this drug subplot, and it went very similarly to how it went in the books, even down to I'm going to leave this airlock open for this period of time, and you can get rid of your contraband without any consequences for this period. And a lot of people took advantage of that because they don't want to go to jail or get spaced or killed or whatever the case may be. And now Naomi being the chief engineer on the Behemoth is a bit of a change from the book storyline. This is a place where a character that was basically written out was the chief engineer on the Behemoth. And I have yet to figure out exactly why they're shifting the storyline in this specific way. But I'm sure, based on everything that's come before, I'm sure it will be an amazing rewrite, and for perfectly good reason. And I'm looking forward to discovering what that is. I think that's all of the major points that I had for this one. The creation of the ring structure was really the thing that was missing from what would be the end of book 2. because I believe that we saw in book 2, we saw all the way out to the creation of the ring, and that they were aware that the ring existed. And then we moved to book 3, and a bunch of time had passed, and we had this, you know, armada heading out toward the ring. So they just left that as a bit of a cliffhanger. What is this thing from Venus doing? But it was not a significant change, because we literally found out about the ring and its creation within the first 2 minutes of the episode, I think. So 2 minutes into episode 7 really marks the full ending of all of the events of book 3, or book 2. I'm so confused with the differences. But yeah, now we're solidly into 3, and it's gonna be a wild ride, because we have a very few number of episodes to tell quite a story, and Miller is gonna take an interesting role in that. I look forward to seeing how they explain it. All right, thank you guys so much for watching along with us. How did you, when you first watched this, what did you think Miller was? I'm talking primarily to the people who were show first and didn't know things from the book, because I know what Miller represents and why he's there. And I'm interested, though, to know what people who didn't know thought was going on right now at this moment without any future episodes involved. Because that's a big surprise. We haven't seen Miller or Thomas Jane as Miller in, I don't know how many, since the middle of season 2, basically. So it's been a full season since we saw him. So yeah, let us know. Let me know what your thinking was about that. And thank you guys so much for all the likes and the subscriptions and all that stuff. It really helps. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you in the next video.